New Orleans Saints fans, I have been sitting here thinking about our roster depth, and honestly, it feels like we are at a crossroads where every single decision matters for our path back to the playoffs. A fresh update just hit the wire that could shake up how we view our running back situation moving forward. It is fascinating because this specific player has history right here in the building, and seeing his status change again makes you wonder if a reunion is even on the table. The more details emerge, the more it demands our attention. Smash that like button, subscribe, and drop your name and city in the comments so we can keep this conversation going. Let's get into it. Who Dat? Running back Jordan Mims is back on the open market after the San Francisco 49ers waived him this past Wednesday to clear a roster spot for Sincere McCormick. As New Orleans Saints fans, we know Mims well since he spent parts of the last 2 seasons wearing the black and gold. After going undrafted in 2023 following a prolific 5-year career at Fresno State, where he racked up 18 touchdowns in his final season, he joined our squad. He appeared in 11 games for us during the 2024 campaign, contributing 70 rushing yards and 12 receptions while providing reliable depth behind our starters. And honestly, it feels like just yesterday he was taking direct snaps at Raymond James Stadium. Here's where it gets interesting because while his playing time was limited under our previous regime, he proved he can survive in this league as a versatile depth piece. Let's be real, seeing a former contributor hit the waiver wire always sparks a bit of nostalgia for the Who Dat faithful, especially as we prepare for the Kellen Moore era. That matters because even with our eyes set on fixing a roster that has missed the playoffs since the Drew Brees retirement, we still keep tabs on guys who bled for this team. Now here's the thing, Mims is turning 27 later this month and brings enough experience to help a practice squad or a team dealing with injuries. His sudden availability is worth watching because while he might not be a starter, he is a known quantity who understands our culture. We are all just hoping he lands on his feet somewhere soon, even if that means competing against us in the future. As we look ahead to our September opener against the Detroit Lions, keeping an eye on these veteran fringe players remains a crucial part of our fan experience. Jordan Mims is back on the open market after the 49ers waived him to sign Sincere McCormick, and as New Orleans Saints fans, we have seen this cycle before. Let us be real, Mims was a reliable depth piece for us during that 2024 campaign, appearing in 11 games while grinding out 141 total scrimmage yards. That matters because finding consistent running back depth is an eternal struggle in this league, and Mims knows our system inside and out after spending significant time in our building. And honestly, this move by San Francisco highlights the harsh reality of the modern NFL backfield, where marginal roster spots are fluid and teams constantly chase younger or cheaper upside. His journey from an undrafted standout at Fresno State, where he racked up 18 touchdowns in his final year, to a journeyman proves that production does not always guarantee a long-term home. Here is where it gets interesting regarding our front office under head coach Kellen Moore. Behind closed doors, they are likely weighing whether Mims fits the specific offensive scheme they are building for the upcoming season. While he is turning 27, his familiarity with our locker room could be an asset if we suffer injuries, though management might be prioritizing fresh scouting reports on undrafted rookies. Historically, the Saints have never been afraid to bring back familiar faces to bolster the practice squad, and Mims offers a plug-and-play insurance policy if the depth chart thins out. Now, here is the thing. With our season opener against the Lions looming in September, every roster spot becomes a strategic chess move to finally push us back into the playoffs. Whether we choose to bring him back into the fold remains to be seen, but as the Who Dat faithful, we know that depth wins rings. Jordan Mims hitting the open market after his release from the 49ers is a situation we need to track closely as New Orleans Saints fans. That matters because our backfield depth remains a lingering question mark under head coach Kellen Moore as we look to rebuild our identity. Mims spent significant time with us recently, appearing in 11 games during the 2024 season where he provided steady, albeit limited production as both a runner and a receiver. With him officially available, the front office faces an immediate decision on whether to bring him back as a reliable veteran insurance policy for our practice squad or to prioritize younger, unproven talent. Adding an experienced guy like Mims into the fold changes our depth chart dynamics by providing a security blanket should we face injury attrition throughout a grueling 18-week grind. Here is where it gets interesting, especially when we look at our upcoming schedule against high-powered teams like the Detroit Lions in our season opener. Having a guy who already knows our system and the playbook could be the difference in tight, low-scoring affairs where every yard counts. And honestly, let's be real about our standing in the NFC South. We have not sniffed the playoffs since the Drew Brees era, and if we want to overtake our division rivals, we must win the battles of attrition. If we can secure depth pieces that understand our culture, we stand a much better chance at mounting a legitimate postseason push. Now here is the thing. Keeping a veteran like Mims on speed dial gives us the flexibility to pivot quickly if the offense stalls. We need to be aggressive in roster construction if we expect to shift our trajectory this year. Who dat? Let us see if the front office makes the move to bring him back home. On one side, bringing Jordan Mims back to New Orleans could provide the Saints with a familiar, cost-effective depth piece who already understands Kellen Moore's complex offensive schemes. After spending parts of 2 seasons with us, Mims knows the locker room culture and provides insurance if injuries strike our backfield during this grueling campaign. But on the other side, the risk involves stagnation, because Mims has struggled to carve out a consistent role despite his impressive college resume at Fresno State. We saw his limited production firsthand, and relying on retreads when we need dynamic playmakers might hinder the growth of younger, higher upside talent currently vying for spots on the roster. Here is where it gets interesting because NFL analysts note that while teams like the Titans under Robert Saleh or the Bills under Joe Brady prioritize fresh legs, Mims remains a high-floor player who graded out as one of the best running backs in the Mountain West. That matters because it proves the raw skill is there, even if his NFL usage has been sporadic. Let's be real, the league is currently buzzing about his availability, with many scouts suggesting that he is an ideal candidate for a practice squad role where he can provide quality scout team looks for opposing defenses. And honestly, my real take here is that we should pass on a reunion. Personally, I think this team needs to aggressively pursue explosive youth rather than circling back to players who have already hit their ceiling with us. We need to focus on finding the next diamond in the rough to complement our current core. It is time to look forward to the preseason opener against the Jaguars and commit to the vision that Kellen Moore is building for us. Who dat? Our focus must remain on finally returning to the postseason. As New Orleans Saints fans, we are watching this franchise undergo a major transformation under head coach Kellen Moore, and the news regarding Jordan Mims serves as a quiet reminder of our depth needs. While Mims is currently a free agent after his release from the 49ers, his prior history with us suggests he is the type of versatile depth piece that teams often need during long, grueling seasons. And honestly, the bigger picture here is that the front office is clearly prioritizing competition at every position to finally snap our playoff drought that has lingered since the Drew Brees era. We must be real about our expectations because going 6-11 last year was a wake-up call, and moving forward under Moore means we are finally resetting our identity to prioritize consistent execution over name recognition. Here is where it gets interesting because even a fringe move like potentially bringing back a familiar face like Mims shows that we are looking for reliable veteran legs to support our starters. That matters because when the regular season kicks off against Detroit in September, our ability to win the trenches will dictate everything. Now here's the thing, you should feel optimistic but cautious about this roster transition. We are building a new culture, and while we might not be immediate favorites, the attention to detail in our secondary and backfield depth will be the deciding factor in close games. With our preseason opener against Jacksonville approaching, the coaching staff is clearly looking for guys who understand the system and can contribute immediately. Do you believe the Saints should bring Jordan Mims back to compete for a spot on the roster, or should we look for younger talent elsewhere? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Who dat? I'll see you in the next one.